Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have my BFF, Elicia Gray, and she's going to be talking about being a teacher. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
All right, tell us about yourself, Miss Gray.
Well, you know my name, and you know that I'm your BFF because you just said it. I have been in the education field for a number of years, 10 plus, 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 plus. I'm a special education teacher. That's all you get to know about me.
All right. What grade do you teach?
High school, 9th through 12th grade.
Why did you want to become a teacher?
Very interesting question, Miss Queenie, Queen. Prior to being a teacher, I was in the management field, and after I started my family, I decided I needed to look into having a different career that would allow me to be home a little bit more because I had really long hours in management. And I learned about a program where you can be certified to be a teacher if you didn't originally have a teaching degree through the bachelor level. So I looked into that program, and that's how I became a teacher.
What is your educational background?
I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree in psychology, 2 masters, one in management, the second one in education when I made the career change, and I also have a doctorate in special education leadership.
All right. What is your teaching style?
My teaching style, I would say, is I consider it to be a little bit laid back. I'm one who likes to meet the student where the student is, and then we just kind of progress from there. I'm very flexible in my teaching style. It's not one size fits all. It's just whatever I need to do to meet the student and to get them to learn as best as they can.
How do you motivate your students?
First, by building a relationship, getting to know them. Then I get an opportunity to know what motivates them, what keeps them going, their likes, their dislikes. And we really have more of a family relationship in the classroom. That's really what motivates them. Even if they sometimes don't feel like doing it, they'll still put forth that little bit of an effort because of that relationship, that level of respect and understanding that we've built amongst ourselves.
Okay. How do you communicate and build relationships with parents?
It's not exactly similar to how I build it with the students, but again, I call to introduce myself at the beginning of the year. If we have any open houses or, meet and greets, I make sure that I'm available to meet the parents. I do also like to try to reach out and let them know how the student is doing in the class, whether it's a positive interaction in the classroom or a negative interaction in the classroom. I also try to make sure that our conversations end on a positive note, which usually helps also build that relationship with parents. And if I do have to reach out for a negative situation, I try to follow up and let them know, this is what happened, this is what we tried, it did work or it didn't work, and go from there just so they'll know, okay, it's not, you're only going to hear from me if something negative or bad is going on in the classroom. You're going to hear from me either way, positive or negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
What strengths do you have that help you with your teaching career?
What strengths do I have to help me with my teaching career?
Yes.
I think building relationships is the greatest strength that you can have with your in teaching, because kids know they can pick up if you're genuine. When you're working with them, they can pick up if you care, because they have to feel that you care about them to be able to work for you. So that's a positive strength that I have, and being able to have that open communication with kids. If I make a mistake, I'm okay with saying, you know what, you're right, I made a mistake, let me apologize. I show them that I'm human. And I think that's how we are able to, have good, positive relationships in the classroom. So that building relationships and communication is a big key. And then, you do need to know a little bit of something about what you're teaching. So,
Yes.
just having that background and, what you're teaching, and just continue to brush up on things that are changing in the education field.
Okay. What do you think is the greatest challenge facing students today?
You know, earlier you were asking about motivation. That is, I think, the biggest challenge in with students today is just keeping them motivated,
Mhm.
keeping their attention. Some teachers may say, you know, we have to entertain the kids because there's a lot more technology. We are competing with their cell phones in the classroom. We're
Mhm.
competing with, you know, social media, what's going on. They're more interested in those things than the lessons that we may have prepared for them. But just trying to continue to keep them engaged um, is what I kind of focus on.
Okay. What is the greatest challenge facing teachers today?
The greatest found oh, that's just a can of worms, isn't it? Um I mean, you have national things going on where you have teachers striking for many different reasons beyond just the pay. Of course, you know, more pay is always great. You know, more help in the classroom is always great. You know, an extra aid in the classroom or extra times to be able to go and spend with kids, because lots of times, yes, we're the teacher, but we're also like that extra parent or that extra
Mhm.
therapist or something that's there to hear the kids out, you know, to build that when we're building those relationships with the kids, because sometimes you can't teach them until you kind of get through the other things that are going on. So you have to be, like I said early on, flexible enough to do that. But those are some of the challenges that teachers have, you know, beyond just finances, having enough materials in the classroom or having enough access to technology to teach the kids, you know, to get their interest, to get them involved in things. Many teachers go back to money. Many teachers, myself included, we have second jobs to make our ends meet. But those are some of the challenges. And then there's the challenges within the building when you're interacting with other people. So again, that communication
Mhm.
of those relationships that you're wanting to build with people that you work with. So those are some of the challenges.
All right. How do you connect your lessons to the real world?
Well, you always got to have the kids understand why you're doing what you're doing, why it's important for them to do what they're doing. Like currently, one of the main things that I'm doing is reading. And I have to, you know, let the kids know, okay, you read everywhere. It's not just in this class. It's not just in school. You know, if you go out to eat, you're reading a menu. If you want to go catch a movie, you need to be able to read and see the different times and understand what you're reading, comprehending that to be able to be successful at it. So just getting them to understand the importance of
Mhm.
why we're doing it and trying to relate it to the real world. You know, this is how you would do this in the real world, especially like with math too, you know, because you're reading math, you know, connecting that with them and letting them know how that comes across.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to add before we end?
Oh, is there anything I'd like to add before we end? Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
What made you get into the field of teaching?
Ooh, that's a good question. It wasn't for the pay. It was mostly because I love children and I want to teach them what I've been taught.
Mm, beautiful, very beautifully said. That's all that I have.
All right. I would like to thank you for coming in today and gracing us with your presence.
Thank you so much. It
Had
was
to
an
do an audio. Even we had to do an audio, but that is good. And I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being there for me and everything. I know I'm about to cry, but I'm trying not.
oh, don't
I
cry.
really do appreciate you to the utmost, and
Thank
I
you.
love you.
Oh, love you too.
Well, thank you again, Miss
Thank you.
Ray.
Thank you for having me.
This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. I love you all. Bye.